Why is the... Oh, sorry. Hello. Oh my God. I'm live. Wait, but why is the subtitle not working, right? Okay, bear with my accent, because sometimes I might say really weird stuff, just because of my accent, okay? Um, Let me try to do this again. You know what? If it comes on, it comes on. If it's not coming on, you can just laugh at my accent. I don't mind. Okay, shall we start? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good dag, everyone. Welcome to the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. The next great generation in tech needs you. This is my first time in Norway and also my first international tech conference as well. It took me about 24 hours to get to the beautiful part of the world. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so glad that you choose to come to listen to me in the next 60 minutes. Now, whether you are a leader by title or a leader by position, this one is for you. Or the leader by spirit, right? You might not have the title, but your spirit has the leadership. The purpose of my talk today is to share the experience and observation from junior perspective. Junior who has survived and thrived in technology industry, and because of all the great giants who have helped lifted me up on their shoulders, I will distill their actions and behaviors of the great giants based on true stories and outline immediate actions so that you can see helping early in careers in their defining moment of growth and transformation is an act rather than a noun. You don't have to become a mentor, you don't have to become advocate or sponsor, because that sounds so formal. It sounds like, oh, I might not have that kind of formal experience before am I qualified. You will see that basically you simply act, and you can take that away with you today. And I hope that collectively we can keep producing the next great generations of leaders in our industry. But before we begin, who am I to talk about this topic in the first place? Hi, jeg heter Gia. Hi there, I'm Gia. Oh wait, I do have another sentence. Hyggelig å møte deg. Did I say it right? Nice to meet you. Hi there, I'm Gia. I'm from Thailand originally, and I moved to Perth, Western Australia in 2016 from my master degrees. Yes, not just one master. I have 2 master degrees and took me about 4 years to finish. And the second master actually got me into the world of technology, learning the world of technology, right? And it was because, you might ask me, why did you do 2 master degrees? Because I grew the love for Perth and I found my home there. Then my migration lawyer told me that if you wanted to stay in Australia, you have 2 choices. Either you get married with an Australian man, or you do your second master in technology. And of course, I took the latter choice because I was more confident in my ability to learn rather than my ability to mate, of course. I am now an early in career working at Microsoft as an associate cloud solution architect in data and AI. And I didn't start my career as a technical resource though. I was getting a grad role at Microsoft in account management role. And I am also building a community of early in career at Microsoft Australia and New Zealand as well as my side gig, where I want to make them feel belong and excel at what they do. By the way, you gotta appreciate the drawing. Looks like a gingerbread man, but representing early in career community. And I am also the youngest elected member of the branch executive at Australia Computer Society, where we advise and advance the computing professions in Australia. Outside of the job that I get paid to do, I love community work, not just the advocating for community for developers, but I love teaching the students, the disadvantaged students, or the group of minorities or women to come into tech, just to get them to experience what it's like to work in technology industry. And how do I get here in the first place though? Oops. That went too fast. Let me go back 2 slides. Okay. Did you like the transition? Okay. How did I get here in the beginning? I'm going to take you and turn back time, right? Just before I joined the technology workforce. The journey hasn't yet begun. There I stood with a piece of paper and a koala in my hand. Of course, if you go to Australian university, you get a koala when you graduate. So I was smiling at a photographer and I was thinking, hoping for the best from my future. But I walk out from the graduation room with some basic skill and limited reality, right? Then after mucking around for a little bit, and I then discovered this place, unfamiliar place called the corporate jungle. And as I enter the corporate jungle, right, okay, the white stick man, that's me, it's my own drawing, just in case you don't know. So as I entered the corporate jungle, I first encountered this murky water. I was asked to be untruthful to my values, so I could go through shortcuts, and then I faced this acid rain of self-doubt. Why my stick man moves so slow? Hurry up. Anyways, then I faced this acid rain of self-doubt. It burned my skin and soul because, we cannot know everything in technology, and I thought in the beginning that we have to know it all. We have to be an expert, right? Because when you say, oh, I work in tech, everybody look at you, oh, you are the child prodigy. But actually, I'm not a child prodigy. Actually, I work hard more than anything else. Then when I thought that everything was going to get better, because you see, I was on the high, trying to climb up, going to the highest point. Guess what? The world's biggest pandemic arrived. Do you remember that? We are in the same world, right? Okay. The world's biggest pandemic arrived. And I got into this underground bunker, and it's like a spiral. It's just keep going down. Like, it took me a while to actually climbing out from there. And then after that, I actually faced the biggest spider in my life. And that spider, although it looks like, does it look like spider to you? I think it looks like spider. So there's 8 legs. I faced this biggest spider in my life, which signified my new career change. At first, the new job looks terrifying, but the more I learn about it, the more I realize, oh, it's actually fun and I love it, which is a cloud solution architect role. It's not as terrifying, just like the spider. I don't know if you've been told that if you go to Australia and then you'll get killed by the spider. That did not happen if you go through the statistic. I think only in the last 40 years or 45 years, nobody had died from the spider bite. So actually, they're friendly. And of course, with new job came new terrain. I was exposed out there where the troll could attack me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But despite it all, I survived, and the journey continued. But I didn't go through all of these by myself, right? All these risky and perilous situations. In the mainstream media, right, we often see this wise old wizard like mentoring and advocating and passing on their wisdom to the younger folks. But mentors and advocates can take many forms, from beautiful mage to kung fu instructor, or to blue robot cats from the 22nd century. I don't know if you know Doraemon, but I grew up in Thailand, and I grew up with Doraemon, which is Japanese cartoon. He actually is a cat that has a pouch of a kangaroo that you can pull off different inventions from the future to help the boy, or to the big friendly giant, right? And there entered the giant throughout the risky and perilous situation. The giant, they showed me the way, they lifted me up on their shoulder, they leveraged their height so I could see the path and possibility in front of me. They provided practical training, profound wisdom, challenged me, pushed me to fight in the new terrain, and they helped me build grit and self-confidence. And for us here today, I'd like to highlight each of the giants' impact that they had on me, and the example behaviors and some actions that, he can take away from, something that's worth modeling from if you want to help early in career. Okay, my first giant is Jason Yao. I met him through the university mentoring program, and I was like, you know what? I am not going to go back to see Jason for the second time because our first interaction was so confronting. I thought, oh, I wanted my mentor or this mentor, Jason, to help me get a job in tech because I was still figuring out what I wanted to do in technology. And remember, like, there's so many options to do in the world of technology. It's not just developers, it's also AI engineer now, and there's so many things, right? And I asked Jason, can you help me? And Jason said, what do you want to do? Say, I want to be an IT or software consultant. Then Jason turned around and he said, no, you don't want to be an IT consultant. You said that because you don't know what you want to do. You have to admit it. And I was like, excuse me? Who are you? Like, how dare you burst my bubble? Who are you to tell me that is not what I want to do? And then Jason said, we have this little exercise for you, okay? Before we come back and see each other again next time, you have to list out hundreds of jobs in technology that you would want to potentially go for, do the research, and do your resume as if it were to be in the year of 2050. And I was like, but that's like 30 years from then. Then Jason said, that's the point. If you want to see me again, do that. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. Guess what? I actually have the list of all the 100 jobs and all the resumes from 2050. And throughout that process, right, I ended up doing it, okay? And throughout that process, I was like, oh my God, Jason was right. I never wanted to be an IT consultant. I said that because all my peers at university say that. All my peers all wanted to be a software or IT consultant. And I was like, Jason, thank you very much for helping me see. He actually never get me any job, by the way. We're still friends until today. If you wonder, like, how is my relationship with Jason go? I actually met him before I came to Norway. We're still friends. And so based on this story of Jason, right? Not Jason. Jason? Jason. Basic story of Jason is that what you can distill from him is that you have to challenge the initial belief of your junior or the early in careers that you're trying to help, because sometimes their traditional way of thinking might not be right. Sometimes it's right, but sometimes it might not be right. Got to disrupt that thinking pattern so your junior can learn to think for themselves. Now, my second giant, this one actually got me the first job in technology, Kirsten Gerson. So, because I was an international student in Australia, it was so hard to get my first job in technology, right? And because, you know, all the visa regulations, you have to go through multiple hops and multiple steps. And KG actually helped me get my first job in tech. So she loved connecting different peoples together. One day she rang me up and she said, oh, you know, there is this Cisco partner company that I work with. They're looking for a part-time employees. Would you want to go for it? I think you'll be a perfect fit, and it's like customer success. And I say, any job, I'll do it. Any job that get me to break in, I will do it. But it has to be something related to technology, right? And of course, I got the job. Later, I left that Cisco partner company because our value didn't align. They asked me to do something that I would never do in my personal life. And without this opportunity that KG was giving it to me, I wouldn't have known that employment was two ways. As much as I want to get to work or get my first job, I also have to evaluate the value of my employer as well. Now, what we can learn from KG here is that leverage your extensive network to help accelerate your junior career. It might not be career, right? It might be something that I want to do in life, right? So you see, you are here at NDC Oslo, and there's like 2,500 developers here. You have a lot of people that you know. You can leverage those networks to help you early in career. So use it wisely. The next giant, my third giant, is Michelle Sanford. I could actually make a whole day conference about Michelle Sanford, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to torture you for that because I only have 60 minutes. And I don't think Michelle's here with us today because she just have to go to the airport. She was doing the responsible AI session on the first day, if anybody of you have gone to that. But Michelle let me borrow her belief in me. I eventually landed myself into a grad role at Microsoft after mucking around for a little bit. And I knew nothing about Power Apps, right, or Power Platform. So after like 2 months in, there was this International Women's Day. So Michelle volunteered me to run that workshop. I don't know if you have heard the word volunteer before in Australia, or at least where I'm from. It's volunteering plus telling, which means you are committing somebody else to do the job before they knew that they were going to do it. So Michelle was doing that for me. So she volunteered me to run this Power Apps platform, right, for women from not-for-profit organization. And I know Norwegian, you are so polite, and I'm from Thailand, I'm polite too, and I learned how to swear in Australia. Sorry, Australia folks. It scared the shit out of me, sorry. It scared the shit out of me because I only had 3 days to prepare the environment, write up the script, and learn Power Apps, right? And surely you think, Microsoft, you have so many people, you're not the only person. Michelle walked to me that day and said, Gia, you are the last person standing. You have to do it. I believe you can do it. I was stressed out. It went well in the end, and I was just keep thinking that I could not let her down. I could not let Michelle down. She thinks I can do it, therefore I can do it. So eventually, it went well, right? And I didn't know then that an early in career like me, and only 2 months into Microsoft, still learning the world of Microsoft as well, could make a profound impact like that. Just 2 months in. I eventually got recognized at the national level for stepping up and not shying away. Michelle, what we can learn from Michelle's story here is that you have to give your junior challenges to solve because they will start building the confidence as they learn to overcome them, right? Now, my 4 giants, Antoinette Jago. I would feel lost in the world of pandemic without Antoinette Jago. So I joined Microsoft as an aspire, as you know, that's a term to describe a grad aspire. And I was in the first cohort of this COVID lockdown, right? We were supposed to go to Canada to do our onboarding in person, or everybody comes together and kind of mucking around, trying to find a way in corporate jungle. And I was so excited. I thought I was going to get that Microsoft chip installed in my body and, tell everybody that I love Microsoft forever. Anyways, that did not happen, right? Everything got canceled just a week before we flew. It was a weird time. I don't know if you remember, but we all trying to learn the new way of work, the working from home and trying to be more socialized virtually. And most of the younger workforce, unfortunately, they feel lost in that transition because it was not just the new way of work, but also the world of work that they have to learn. And I was lost too, I have to admit it. During the lockdown, because I'm from Thailand, so I lost 2 family members due to COVID, and I couldn't fly back home to attend their funeral. And guess what? I grounded my self-worth in work because I thought that was the only thing I have, that I have to do my best, so those people who passed can actually feel proud of me. Now, Antoinette was the person that led me out of that downward bunker spiral. Anto has been working at Microsoft for a while, maybe like 5 or 10 years, or maybe 7 years, can't remember, but she know all the in and outs of the Microsoft. And then one day, right, she noticed my Garmin. And she said, oh, you run? And I said, yeah, I run. Then we start running together, and then I also got into triathlon training. We were training for half Ironman together, and we formed this strong friendship outside of work, right? Through sports. And during training, she would coach me and help me navigate through difficult work situation. There was like one day, this like old white male were yelling at me in the call in front of her customers, and I was crying and I didn't know how to handle it. And Anto was helping me getting through that situation. And she would also tell me the world before the pandemic as well, the world of Microsoft before the pandemic. And it's weirdly enough, I actually feel belong. I feel I'm part of Microsoft. I feel that I found my place at Microsoft, even though I haven't met 90% of all my colleagues at Microsoft. It was so weird, but I did feel belong. Now, the story of Antoinette here, what we can learn is that connect with your junior outside of work. Ask them what they like doing, right? And form that friendship, sense of belongings. It will take them really, really far in their career. My next giant, Jonathan Wade. So when I decided to change my path from account management into cloud solution architect, there were 4 key people that helped me go through that transition. Jonathan Wade is one of them. So many of people ask me, how did you get from account manager role into deep technical role like solution architect only a year into Microsoft? And it was because we have a leader like Jonathan Wade. So Jonathan is our leader, our director of Microsoft Azure in Australia and New Zealand. So he truly believed this diversity of thoughts, not just any particular diversity and inclusion. He just believed in diversity of thoughts. And you know how we always hired, I don't know if you know the solution architect, I think most of you know, but just in case you don't know what I mean, basically, we advocate for your creation, because most of you will be developer, right? So we advocate for your creation. We go in front of a customer trying to put this into their environment. So most of the time, traditionally, we hire 10 to 15 years of experience people into the role. Textbook. It results in what? People that went to the same school at the same period of time, read the same textbooks. Textbook. Read the same textbook. And Jonathan wanted to change that, right? And this program, the associate program, it gives them 2 years to learn and grow their technical skill. They can have like any skills. They can come from any different backgrounds, because I have account management background, right? Give 2 years, learn all the technical skill that you need to know. And, you know, like without Jonathan Wade, I wouldn't be in the role that I am today. What we can learn from Jonathan here is, and I'm sure most of you have some sort of privilege here, okay? Use your privilege to create space and time for diversity and inclusion to emerge, okay? Now, my 6th and 7th giant, Michael and Morgan. By the way, it's so hard to get them to be in the same photo with me, because we were in different locations, but we were in Sydney this year, and then I was like, hi boss, can you take a selfie with me? So my 6th giant is Michael. When I saw the solution architect role was being advertised on Microsoft.com, I rang Michael and I say, hi boss, I told you I was going to stick around in your team forever, but I saw this opportunity came up, and I put in applications, and please support me. And he looked at me in the Teams call. He looked at me with disbelief. He's like, what? How dare you? Because it's hard for him, right? It's difficult for him to find the new person or go through the recruiting process again. But you know how you hear a horror story about the manager sabotaging your career if they know how you move or trying to apply for the next job? That actually didn't happen to me. So Michael actually supported me throughout all my interview process and until I was a successful candidate. So he did not sabotage me or anything at all. And I haven't confirmed this yet, but I was told that he actually gave Morgan, which is my current manager, a call about me and put in some good words. So I don't know if that's true, but you see, he's really supportive. And then when I got my offer to be a solution architect, I saw my level got bumped up in my contract. And I was like, Morgan, I think you have made some mistake here. I would like to clarify if this is correct. And then he said, no, that is correct. You deserve a fair compensation based on the impact that you had last year. And I was like, but I only been at Microsoft for 1 year, and I never had any experience for solution architecting or data and AI stuff. And he's like, no, that is a fair compensation for you. And I didn't have to go through negotiations of all the numbers and the level and stuff like that. He actually did it all for me. And I was just thinking, thank you very much for looking out for me. And what we can learn from these two giants here is that invest in the growth and development of your junior, right? Fight for the fair compensation for them in relation to their ability to create impact rather than their years of experience. But I've also read the Norwegian report, and they say they have a really good equality in terms of pay or salary here. It might not be an issue here, but whenever you see the disparity, keep that in mind, okay? My eighth giant, Daniela Matthews. Remember that Jonathan Waits won this grand plan about associate programs. Of course, he needs somebody to help him make that a reality. So Daniela was hired in to associate cloud solution architect role. Daniela's also come from enterprise support and account management background as well. And that's when I realized, or I could see that, I could actually hop to the cloud solution architect role from where I was, even though I didn't have any technical skills back then. Then Daniela was the person that did all the groundwork, trying to set up the framework, the path for the new associate to come in and, spend less time mucking around, right? Mucking around of what am I doing here? So she's trying to set up everything. And at the moment, we have about 4 associates in our business. I was the second one, and I followed the path that Daniela created. What we can take out from Daniela's behavior here is that pave the path to make it easier for your junior to follow. Because life is already hard. Solving software complex problem is already hard. So whenever it's possible, make it easier. Share your experience. Make it easier for them to follow. Now, my number 9 giant is Rivaj. Rivaj, remember that huge spider that I showed you? Even though it's a little bit ugly, the huge spider that I faced, Rivaj was the person that helped me learn that the spider was actually friendly. So the first 6 months into the role, it was the hardest one. It was the most intense because I had to learn the cloud stuff, the data stuff, the AI stuff, ETL, ELT, the wall of the data lake house and all things like that, right? Also have to learn to be in front of the customer, teaching them how to do stuff and teaching them some new cool product that we released. And Rivaj was my support system. He has this deep technical knowledge in so many verticals. He would spend hours and hours on a call trying to explain that with me. And what I appreciate most about Rivaj is that he doesn't know everything, even though he has a lot of deep technical skills. He doesn't know everything, for example, data governance. Never done it before, but he would make an effort to learn it with me so that I can develop my skills. So we actually learned the data governance together. By the way, I don't know if I have mentioned, but I specialize in data governance now because I have a lot of customers, such a big and hot topic in Australia at the moment for data governance. So today I'm still having so much to learn and so much to improve, right, with the technical skills. But I feel so much more confidence in my skill than a year ago. And I only have this ability because of Rivaj. And without him, I wouldn't feel so confident, and I wouldn't be able to work autonomously with customers, right? So what we can learn from Rivaj here is that, yes, of course, you have to have the technical skills, or at least domain expertise, and be willing to explore this ever-changing technical landscape with your junior. Now, my number 10 giant is Sergio Senati Filho. So Sergio, everybody loves Sergio. He has this soft, gentle way of explaining things without, even though it's like the most intense or the most attended workshop or conference. He's just so calm. He's in control all the time. So you know how doing workshops and conferences is being part of a developer life, right? You all do workshops and conferences. I hope so. That's why you are here. Anyway, so doing the workshops and live demos and conferences, part of the solution architect role as well. So I don't know if anybody remember, and sorry, I cannot see anybody because I'm blind with the lights, but does anybody remember the time that they do the live demos or like conference or the workshop in front of customers and you have these sweaty palms, you kind of prepare it 3 nights in a row and then it stopped working. It's just not working when you show it to the customer and then they think that you're not prepared for it. So that would happen with me in my first workshop, right? And the audience thought that I was incompetent. One of them wrote in the feedback form and said, you know, we spend a lot of money with Microsoft. Why Microsoft send an inexperienced solution architect to help us teach this workshop? And it was a new technology. Azure Purview was a data governance. Nobody knows. Like all other solution architect also is trying to learn Microsoft Purview as well. But to be honest, that comment, I love feedback, but that comment crushed my soul because it took me a while to recover from it because I was thinking that, oh, I actually spent a lot of time trying to make it to work, but it's just not working. Then from that workshop on, I swore, seriously, I swore like it would never happen again. Sergio helped me practice and get through it all because he had extensive experience in running the workshop, being in front of the customers, doing conferences, and he took me under his wing. He would let me run the workshop with him until I get a hang of it. We did so many together, and then we also gather feedback so that we can put it in the next workshop or conference session. And guess what? Now I can run my own workshops. I can do demos. I can speak at the conference because Sergio is not here. I am also passing on this knowledge to Woo Jin as well. So Woo Jin is also another associate cloud solution architect, and he's starting to get into this space as well. And without Sergio, I wouldn't be able to come up here on the stage and actually talk to all of you. Thank you, Sergio. The behavior that worth modeling from Sergio here is that, hey, let your junior fly with you for a while. It's not that they're not good. I believe that all of them are good, but sometimes it's their first time. Sometimes they haven't have experience with that yet. You gotta help them practice that, right? So let them fly with you until they can successfully fly solo. Okay, my last giant of today, Shane Baldacchino. So Shane, I met Shane, actually, I think last year. He joined Microsoft last year, but as I do more of passing on the technical knowledge and helping out in the tech communities in Australia, remember I love teaching all the students, I realized how much it made me feel. I actually like seeing the light bulb turning on moment in front of people's face and like, oh yeah, I get it, I like that. And I also like when people come to me and say, oh my God, you show me something new that I have never known before. Thank you very much. And then I started thinking about how can I actually scale this impact rather than just this one single session or just one-on-one interaction. I started contemplating on the level of the impact that I could create, right? And I was still not sure, like, where is this going to lead me to? What is the path? Then at the same time, Shane gave me a kudos on my Strava bike riding. I don't know if there's any cyclists here. So I was doing long distance cycling in February to raise fund, and I rode about 1,400 kilometers, 1,400 kilometers in 28 days, and it was like a challenge. And Shane was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And he was like, outside of bike riding and working at Microsoft, what is your aspiration? What do you want to do? And I think he was the only person that asked me that, what is your aspiration? And was like, you know, maybe one day far away in the future, I wanted to get appointed to become a minister of ICT in Western Australia. Okay, Minister of ICT, not the minister in the church, because last session, I don't know if you attend on the first day, his life manual, he asked like, what is your dream? What is your goal? And I said, I want to become a minister of IT. And he said, oh, a minister in the church. And I say, no, it's a politician area, not the church, not the church. Actually, it would be interesting. Why would the church need IT people, right? But anyways, different topics. So I told him that, and then I never thought that he would remember what I told him because it sounds so airy-fairy and fluffy. Then I actually met him in person in Sydney in July because we had this kick-off for the new financial year and we all flew to Sydney, see each other. He was like, hey, you know what? Remember that time you said you want to scale your impact? I remember that. So here's the last minute opportunities. We are actually creating a short course or a micro credential, that's what they call, for TAFE, New South Wales. So TAFE is similar to VET here. You would call it VET, V-E-T, the vocational training providers. So he said, we are helping them creating short courses on cloud computing. Would you like to help out? And I say, yeah, sure, but you cannot go to the after party. Is that okay with you? And I say, yep, sure, I'll do it. I don't have to go to the after party, that's fine. So the next day, we wrote a script all night. Next day, we got to the production studio, and then I flew back to Perth. It all got recorded. Now, TAFE New South Wales is interestingly just a fun fact. So with TAFE New South Wales, right, with the micro-credential course that they're trying to do, because of course not everybody could afford to go to a formal degree like master degrees or bachelor's degrees. So they're trying to be more targeted about building up the technical skills for for Australians. So that's what's happening, and it's one of the I think it was one of the very newest or latest courses that they are releasing. So just a little fun fact there if you're not sure what this micro-credential course is. And so with Shane, right? Oops, sorry. That's always happen. The unexpected always happen. I learned to actually live with it now, so all good. So anyway, so with Shane, just get back to Shane's story. So Shane actually helped me realize that what I do today can already have an impact and wider impact as well without being a politician, without being an IT minister or an IT monk. That's what Lars say. But I already can create an impact, right? The recording that we were doing together will be watched by thousands and thousands of students in New South Wales. And this one of the biggest states by the populations. And it's not just this year that they're going to watch it. It's going to be many years to come that they're going to watch it. So he actually get me to think. Now, if you ask me, so what's your goal then? I'm still exploring, right? I see what I'm trying to do and I see what I like, but I'm still exploring. Cannot put the fingers on it just yet, but I am on my journey. Now, what we can learn from Shane here is that discover your junior aspiration. Ask them what do you want to do, right? And help them push for relevant opportunities for them to get there. Now, that was my last giant of today, and I know there was a lot of people. There's a lot of giants, and that is the point. The point is early in career, there needs a lot of help from a lot of people. And I know I just trying to summarize everything, because there was a lot of giants. So here you go. The first one, challenge initial belief to disrupt thinking patterns so your junior can learn how to think for themselves. Leverage your extensive network to accelerate your junior career. Give them challenges, because when you give them challenges to solve, they will build up their confidence as they handle and overcome challenges. Connect with your junior outside of work, form that friendship, and create the sense of belonging with them. Use your privilege to create space and time for diversity inclusion to emerge. Invest in the development and growth of your junior. Fight for fair compensation whenever that is appropriate, relating to their abilities to create impacts and not their years of experience. Pave the path for them and make it easier for them to follow. Have technical expertise and be willing to explore and learn in this ever-changing technical landscape with your junior. Let them fly with you for a while until they can successfully fly solo. And the last one, discover the aspiration and push them for relevant opportunities to get there. Now, if you don't remember anything else, that's fine. You can take a screenshot, not a screenshot, photograph, take a photo of this, and you don't have to remember everything. Whenever that is applicable, you can always revisit this one. And it's not a checklist, okay? You don't have to do all of these, but it's like guidelines. Whenever appropriate, you can do it. You can use it. Okay, another insight I actually have gathered, derived from all of these behaviors as well, is that what they all have in common is that they want to genuinely see me succeed. They want to see me succeed, right? Although some of them has confessed to me just before this, say that they were in it because of the free lunch and coffee, but because I was so awesome, so they stick around. So that's all right. It's all good. Whatever that gets you to start, it doesn't have to be the reason that makes you stay, right? So, okay, another insight I have derived from this as well is that it takes a village, right? You have them early in careers, so of course they have the peers, the people in the same team. It has to go up to the managers as well and to the sponsor level as well, right? It's throughout the whole organization. And I know some of you might ask me later, what about my village is small? Because you work at Microsoft, you have all the resources. What if it's a small village? Okay, if it's a small village, right, this is the insight that I got away from it. So your junior doesn't have to be in the same company as you. They can be in the same tech community, in the same meetup groups, or here at NDC Oslo, right? Or you can also encourage your junior that work in the same company to have their giant somewhere else. Remember, leverage your extensive network. You know a lot of people at NDC Oslo this year. Make it worthwhile for them. Okay, I also get this question asked a lot as well, so I'm going to cover this. They ask me, oh, what kind of person I should, if I never mentor before, or if I never helped somebody before, what kind of person should I look out for? Okay, look for potentials. You got to remember that they are not going to be fully developed yet, right? They're still... They have hope and aspirations. They're scared, but they're not going to be fully developed yet. So I was asking my giants of like, what make it click for you to like, help me? So there's these 3 themes, but it doesn't have to exist, like all these 3 doesn't have to exist in one person. Any of these one would be a good start. So the first one is say yes to opportunities. So opportunities, not just opportunities that they have done it before. The opportunity is to scare them. The one that they have never done it before. People that say yes to that even though they're scared, oh my God, you should grab them, go get a coffee, trying to get to know them and connect with them. And the second one is open to learning. Of course, we are in technology. Everything changes like every 2 seconds, I think. Actually, not 2 seconds. I'm exaggerating here. Maybe 2 weeks or 6 months, right? Got to be open to learning, and sometimes they have to be flexible in terms of how they learn or what they know as well. So open to learning will take them a long way. Last one is give and get. So it's a relationship between 2 person, right? It's not that I am actually trying to get something out from my giants all the time. I also contribute back. I also make them see the new perspective and the fresh perspective from where I am. And Michelle is not here today, but the example that she loved making was that she was trying to work on her responsible AI code, or like trying to create like the proof of concept for Azure at the Edge or something. And then she asked me, Gia, I have this error. Can you come and have a look at me? And I was looking her VS Code and I was like, oh, it looks unusual. But then I also asked her, but Graham is there. Graham is our senior solution architect. And of course, he knows so much better than me. I say, Graham probably know it better than me. Go ask him. And then Michelle was like, no, I already asked Graham. I already went to Graham and asked him, and he debugged the same way I did. And it's still not working. Can you help me? And I look at it. And you know what? The mistake was so small. It was the capital M instead of the little m. And she was like, okay, you just have a different way of debugging. And you see what I mean? It's not just that I'm trying to get all the wisdom from Michelle, but at the same time, I'm also contributing back to our relationship as well. So give and get, always remember that. Okay, now, you might ask me as well, why are we talking about this in the first place, right? So, well, we have never actually had such a hot and fast-growing industry like this in the history of workforce. And I know that Norway is increasing educational capacity within ICT or IKT, and I don't know how to pronounce your K, so bear with me, but ICT, if you are not Norwegian, we are expecting 40,000 technology employees by 2030 in Norway. Right? And two main pipelines that gonna come from is first ICT graduates and then second reskilling workforce. Now the key source, of course, you know there's gonna be ICT graduates, right? From university or vocational training will be welcomed thousands and thousands of them into technology industry in the next 7 years. And you might ask me, can you read Norwegian? Of course, I couldn't read Norwegian. I had a friend that worked at Department of Education in Norway, and I asked him, Shakten, I'm doing this talk, can you confirm my stat? I just need to confirm that it's real. And then I asked him, this is roughly the area I wanted to research, and he sent me some 140 pages of the report. It's in PDF, and you know what happened? I literally go in there and I translate, copy-paste into Google Translation, and every pages, I didn't use any of those 140 pages. But in fact, I found, sorry, I'm sidetracking here, but I found this expression that I was like, hang on, I don't quite get this one. And it said that the graduate have the ice in their stomach. And and the Norwegian in that Google translation, it was Hi E Mergen? Hi E Mergen? Or do I say it that right? Hi E Mergen? Anyways, I might butcher it, but have an ice in their stomach, which means, because it was a report about unemployment in younger graduates, right? So what it means is that they prefer to wait and see and stay cool to get into to get into the right job rather than, you know, plunge into it and get a job at fast food store, for example. So I found that very interesting. Okay, so anyway, I didn't get anything from that 140 pages report, but I found the reference that go to another report, which is this one that say, okay, we're gonna at least have 40,000 young professionals coming into the industry to stay competitive, like in the economy, right? Cool. All right, so we know that it's hard to start out in a new field. Hit the ground running, you all been there before, right? Catching up with the people that have been in the industry for a while. And maybe some of you still trying to catch up with the people that have been in the industry for a while today. And the expectation to solve larger and more complex problems are ever increasing. And whatever the role may be, software engineer, solution architect, UX UI expert, security analyst, or developer, security analyst. Did I say that? I did say that. The list goes on. That's what I'm trying to point out. The list goes on. We know it's hard to start out. And without close support, right, younger workforce, they feel lost in this transition. They feel overwhelmed in this transition of their defining moment of growth. Without a proper support, it's like this. It's like you are sending them to slay the dragon in the first episode. And it doesn't have to be like that. It should not be like that. We are setting them up for failure. So, you know, all of this should be about learning from the wise and shadowing the experienced ones, right? Which is, I hope that all of you in this room. Now, there is no greater gift other than the gift of growth. I was in Lars sessions, as I mentioned before, on Monday. One of his points was talking about get a mentor too. And then he asked around the room, who's here has mentor? And the room full of people, much fuller than this. There were 6 of us in the room full of people that have mentors. So maybe there's something, this is a gap, right? Maybe we can do something in this area. Now, what I want you to do, okay? I know some of you just really tired from lunch. So if you are like napping, this is the time to get up and pull out your phone, okay? Everybody, I would like you to pull out your phone, please. Come on, let's do it. Let's pull out your phone, and then you go to a to-do list of choice. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm not gonna even judge you for it, okay? Go to your to-do list of choice. I hope that when you're listening to me, there's might be some name of your early in career that comes into your mind. If you don't have anybody's name, that's fine. Just put the question mark, right? If you have somebody's names in mind, put that person name down, whoever come first. Only one, doesn't matter, only one. Put that person name down, okay? And then next to that person name, so for example, might be Jia, okay? Next to that person name, I want you to write, I will help you slay the dragon in the corporate jungle. Okay, I want you to write that down. Jia, I will help you slay the dragon in the corporate jungle. I'm not sure if anybody who's early in career here today. So early in career mean 1 to 5 years into the workforce. You might be shy to put your hands up, but this is the opportunity for people who have no idea what kind of who early in career that they might want to help. This is the opportunity for you to raise your hands up, okay? Now, when Monday comes, I want you to reach out to this person that you just write their name down. Set up one-on-one with them, take them out for coffee or bubble tea. Bubble tea is a big thing in Australia, but I don't know if it's the case here, but bring them out, getting to know them, letting them know that you are here to help. And hey, don't get offended when they don't know what to ask you yet, because this is all new to them. I can see that not a lot of people actually ask for help or have a mentor or advocates before. So when they're ready, they will reach out to you. They will ask for help. And when that happens, listen carefully, okay? Don't chuck all the solutions to them. Pull up the summary of all the list of great behavior from the giants out and see what might be applicable in these scenarios, okay? And also understand that we cannot put everybody on our shoulder, otherwise it'd be too heavy, right? We cannot take everybody on board. So find the right junior is critical. Okay, I would say it's a key. You gotta find a person that can vibe with you, that you can connect with them. The person that you reach out on Monday might not be the person that you can help them, or might not be the person you can connect with. That's fine. You can put the reminder in and just keep reminding yourself when you go to a meetup groups or like every month, once a month, trying to connect with the new early in career in your organizations or external communities. Put that reminder in, okay? All right. Now, if an early in career is standing at the sea level, assuming that they are 170 centimeter tall, okay, I'm in Norway, sorry, so you probably, average height probably higher than that, not 170, maybe 190. Okay, just assuming that they are 170 centimeter tall, and they can see flat object in the same level at about 5 kilometers away, okay? If they're standing on somewhere, say, higher, like 200 meters higher above sea level, they can see 50 kilometers further, right? Because as you know this, you're all engineers or developers, that the angle of views compensates the curvature of the Earth. And these 5 kilometers that they can see at the sea level is known as horizon, right? So they cannot see what's beyond that 5 kilometers, but it doesn't mean that the path isn't there, right? It doesn't mean that their goal is not there. It just simply means that they can't see what's lie ahead yet. They can't see all the steps or the obstacle between them and their goal just yet. All of the unknowns will be revealed to them as they start their journey, of course. But if you lift them up on the shoulder of giants like yours, they can right away see 45 kilometers further. Okay? Now, today I am still on the journey in the corporate jungle, of course, and I'm having fun. I love it. I'm having fun. And I'm at full capacity. I owe all my giants the confidence that I now have in myself. Without them, I wouldn't turn out to be so awesome and also see 45 kilometers further, right? And prepare for what's ahead. And as I stand on the shoulder of giants and look at the path in front of me, I know I'm ready to take on new quests and continue to make my mark in my own terms in this terrain and beyond. Thank you very much. Okay, because we still have some time, 5 minutes left, either I give you the gift of time back to go and enjoy yourself, or I'll take questions. I need to see you as well. If anybody has questions, if you're too shy, that's fine. You can come and talk to me here as well. Anybody has questions? You can just yell out. No? Oh, wow, you're really polite. You don't have questions, but you're still sitting here. Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone.